Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the stream. And thank you for joining us. And we're going to host this video now on Qentinel's YouTube channel. But today we also have Cygnet here, which we've partnered up with. So we're going to have a joint webinar. We're just using our tech on Qentinel. So also check out Cygnet Infotech and their social media channels as well. Some housekeeping on the issues. If you want to check out all the other webinars that we have coming up, please sign up and hit the subscribe bell on YouTube so you can get all the notifications on that and all the info on Qentinel and now also on Cygnet. And today's topic that we're going to discuss about is leveraging end-to-end test automation in the Salesforce ecosystem, which is super interesting and really huge ecosystem that we are going to talk about. And also, if you want to comment on any of the parts in this presentation, you have to sign up log into your YouTube account and use the comments in there. We can raise up the comment to the stream. We can talk about it and we can see all the comments that you do in there. So please ask questions at any point that you want. But there's also a Q&A at the end for that. For hosts today, hi, I'm Henry Tero. I'm the Chief R&D Evangelist. And then on the stream as well, we have Premal Dave, who's the Vice President of Cygnet.
Hi, Henry. Thank you. So I have a team from Cygnet as well. Myself, Premo, as Henry mentioned, we represent a company called Cygnet. And yeah, Dhaval, if you would like to have a couple of words about you.
Yeah, so hi guys, myself Dhaval. I'm just working as a AVP and taking care of the technology and solutions part and working on Salesforce and Java side.
Prakash?
Hi all, I'm Prakash Jha. I'm taking care of DevOps activities in Cygnet from last couple of years. I've been in DevOps field from last 7 to 8 years, working on different technologies, right from the Docker and Kubernetes.
Thank you. Yes, Henry, over to you.
Yeah, thanks Cygnet's team, and really happy to be here. We have a great topic and we have great experts from Cygnet as well. So I'm going to be the host for most of the issues today, and we're going to showcase the communication and partnership between Qentinel and Cygnet that we have in here, and what can be achieved using Qentinel's tools and Cygnet's experience on the subject. Just a short note on Qentinel. What we do is we are pioneers in cloud-based test automation with our product Qentinel Pace, which is a cloud-based test automation system for doing end-to-end testing. So our goal or mission statement is that we want to improve the quality of life by improving the quality of software. I think everybody in the stream and everybody has always had experiences with bad software, making their life a hassle, for example. You cannot log into some critical system or you cannot get emails or something like that. And also on the other side, when you're developing software, there's the other side of it that when you do release day, you're not 100% sure if it's not going to work or not. But we want to give our customers and everybody who's using our technology that they can be fearless and confident on the go live day. So actually, you don't have to be afraid that will this work or not, or will everything crash. We want to give you the best tools to test that everything is going to be fine and you can be fearless. We currently have offices in Finland, actually in 2 places. We also have an office in Germany and in the USA. And then we have partners like Cygnet all over the world who've been working with us on making the world basically pray the place with the quality of software. And off to Premal as well about Cygnet.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we are a 20-year-old organization established in 2000. We are based in India, a city called Ahmedabad, which is the west part of India. In the next 10 years after the inception, we managed to open or have our footprint in US, UK, different parts of Europe like Belgium, Netherlands, and also we are expanding further in Europe at this moment. After 15 years of inception, I mean, the experience was amazing. The kind of customer that we serve, we are still, we are still serving them. So they have been customer with us for more than 15 years. And most of our business comes from the referral. So that shows that once you're a customer, it's a customer or a partner, I would say, for a life. In 2021, yes, we are partnering with Qentinel, but at the same time, if you talk about the overall the landscape and the kind of the coverage that we have in terms of technology. Yes, we have exposure and experience, as Henry mentioned, in Salesforce, DevOps, and many other areas. But to focus on this presentation, we're going to talk about our experience in QA services, automation, Salesforce, and the DevOps. At this moment, presently, we are 1,000 plus as a team and spread across 9 different countries. So we can always serve you better locally as well as sitting in India also. Thank you. Next slide, please, Henry.
Yeah, and I also want to say a bit here about that. It's really nice that these are the kind of partners that we're looking for that have wide experiences from all over the technology sphere and also can serve the customers with our tooling and some other people's tooling as well. So it's not just focused on that. And the QA part is that we specialize in DevOps, and the other parts, there's a lot of tooling out there that can be combined. And it's a really good thing to have really broad views on this. Here you go.
Excellent, thank you. So yeah, since we have incepted in 2000, our the major goal is to provide a business solution. So we act as a technology partner, and hence the business grows and we also grow at the same time. So it's a bilateral benefit or the mutual benefit. At this particular moment, we have been serving a lot of Fortune 500 customer, and in terms of offering, in terms of services, other than the technology expertise, we are also into providing digital transformation, product re-engineering, and we do have our own flagship products into digital signing solution and also into the text technology. So we are one of the pioneer of tech solution in India when it comes to the VAT solution or the tax solution. So that's very quick bit about ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Premal. It's interesting that you also have this large tax technology suite as one of our, for example, biggest reference customers is the Finnish Tax Administration Office as well. So there's a lot of shared stuff in there.
Yeah, brilliant.
Just covering a little bit of the agenda that we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about end-to-end testing in large ecosystems. Then a little bit about how our technology fits these kind of large ecosystems and specifically Salesforce, how we've done that, and how you can actually use it, and how you can scale your whole testing setup with cloud infrastructure in a much easier way than just buying up new computers to run your test infrastructure. Then we're going to have a demo of Qentinel Pace, but not done by me. It's actually done by Cygnet. So their expertise again. And then in the end, we're going to have a Q&A. So stay with us. Well, let's go. End-to-end testing.
Excellent. So yeah, I mean, from our experience of working with various different corporates and of a different size, right from a small startup to a government-based organization or a very large conglomerate, what we have experienced is that there is a lot of challenges that you face. We do talk that we are an agile company, when I say our customer says we are an agile company, but their testing aren't an agile, so they lag behind how their testing is being performed, especially when you talk about the cloud platform such as Salesforce, as Henry rightly mentioned. It's a mammoth of an application, and we have a lot of experience working on CLM and CPQ space. We have been working with the market leaders for that. So our focus or the agenda for this particular session is to showcase that experience and how you can overcome. Those are the challenges that you're facing in the end-to-end scenario in the large ecosystem. So that is something that we intend to cover. At the same time, how you can make the best out of your automation as well as a DevOps. So that's something that we will showcase with an example in the next upcoming slides. Yes, Andrew. Yeah.
Yeah, I was guessing that's a cue for the next slide.
Yeah. Okay. Prakash, do you want to take that up? Prakash being a DevOps and QA expert. Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for this opportunity. All right. So, as far as we discussed about the basic challenge in ensuring the quality of application is mammoth in size. So what Agile suggests, and just by following the Agile principle, it would be pretty much easier to achieve our all objectives, especially on the quality index part. So normally, this slide explains the basic workflow of any Agile methodology that testing team should follow, where development team creates a release, and in that release, we have multiple sprints. We all know that this is not a rocket science, so this is not a new technology. So we all know that. What we are emphasizing here is to generate as much number of builds as possible to fall in line with a principle which says that test often and fail early. So that's a very important point, that the more often we test at a very minutest level of application, we can discover more critical and major bugs at the very earlier stage, which would eventually optimize the overall cost of bug fixations. So this would help the entire team to release it on time and release it with utmost level of quality. So that is the key point in terms of surviving in such real competition in software industry. So this is very important aspect. And when you have a tool like Qentinel Pace, it would become a very easier to digest by the development team and testing team in particular to engulf all these technologies together to deliver a proper quality build. So if you see this diagram, we have let's assume we have 2 sprints, and in one sprint we have 2 builds. So we perform all the aspect of testing in parallel. So manual testing and automation testing would be done at the same time. But if you see very closely, we have excluded build 1 for automation testing, keeping a testing team in mind, where they have to create the automation scripts for initializing the sanity test for the build, and it takes some time. So we generally exclude the first build from the automation, and after that, whenever any new build comes to the QA environment, it must be checked or validated using automation script for the sanity level, right? So whether application is being testable at the sanity level for the manual regression testing or not. And with this particular practice, if a basic or core features are not working, we generally reject a build, and this will also define overall KPI for the development team as well, which will give a very concise soft pressure on the development team to ensure that whatever they are releasing to QA, it must be validated at sanity level. Right. So now in the next slide, we would be discussing at unit level for just for the quality environment. A team decides to deliver or upgrade a quality environment with a new build. We have lots of approaches for that. This is just for the illustration where we mentioned that development team merges their development branch to QA branch, and any CI/CD tool like Jenkins would get automatically triggered to check out the those binary files which is being created during this development CI pipeline, and deploy it on the QA environment to upgrade the new version. So if you see the arrow number 3, this Jenkins would automatically upgrade the QA environment, and once the environment is upgraded, at arrow number 4, it checks out the test script repository where the Qentinel test cases or those test cases written on robot framework would be stored. So Henry would be explaining much more detail in next slides. So I would be just skipping those details part. So with this particular thing, arrow number 5 would trigger the Qentinel. So this is what we are explaining at every build. So in one particular release, we have multiple sprints, and in one sprint we have multiple builds. So in every build, this process is being made a mandate to deploy or to upgrade the QA environment for further manual testing. So once Qentinel is triggered, we quickly perform a sanity check execution to ensure that all the core features or all the pre-configured or pre-tested features are working as expected. If yes, then only it will notify the QA team that new build would be upgraded, or QA environment is being upgraded, and they start manual testing. Otherwise, build is rejected. So that development team knows that they have shaken the world while creating a new component over there. So this is how we actually discover bugs at the very early stage during the right from the second build of the entire release. We've been witnessed more than hundreds of builds in one particular release. So we don't testing team does not have a burden to discover more and more bugs at the last moment of release, which will eventually hamper the entire release. Right, so this is how we understand Qentinel, and this is how we are using basically Qentinel in terms of achieving the quality index of any released product. I think we can move ahead. Henry, all yours.
Yep, of course. one thing that I'd like to note here and comment about is this is a really nice overview of the whole process on how the actual merging and all of that happens. And as Prakash said, you really want to have testing done as early as possible. So you want to have as many runs as close to the one release that you're doing or the one build that you're basically doing. If you're changing one line, you really want to test that so you don't know. It's much easier to point out in a small release where the bugs are than if you're changing thousands of lines at the same time. And that's also, of course, at the core Agile as well. They want
Right,
to be more,
absolutely.
yeah. Small changes, test fast, fail fast.
Yeah.
And now we're going to jump on the talk about Qentinel. So what is Qentinel Pace? You're going to see a demo about it, and you're going to see a little bit more about the system that we're going to use in there. But when we're talking about Salesforce, we have a couple of key points that we'll be discussing with Cygnet as well on what are the easiest or the 6 main points that we can use and what we can help people with their Salesforce instances. One is increased efficiency and resource productivity. Compared to manual testing, when you're running automated tests, it's a really, really scalable way that you can write the test once and run it 1,000 times. You don't have to have the manual steps. In the same time as the one manual coder will do one manual testing step, you can really do it easily with Qentinel Pace and automated. And because the way that we can write our test cases, they're really concise. The test case script language is actually really easily understandable and human readable. That makes it really error prone, or not error prone. That's the opposite of what I wanted to say. Is really small amount of errors happening there because the language is something that you can discuss about. And reduce expenses. Typically, testing is a variable load. When you have a big release coming, you want to test a lot, but typically daily you want to test continuously a little bit. So how do you actually buy out your testing hardware? Do you buy it for the small load and then use a lot of, for example, lean resources in there, or do you buy a lot of stuff for testing and then only use in release days? With the cloud, you can dynamically scale up your actual usage of test hardware, and you're only paying basically the minutes that you're using there, so it works quite well. And what we can also do is, if you can now automate Salesforce using Qentinel Pace and Pacewords, and you can see a demo about that and how you do it, you can very easily see problems or flaws in your actual coding and the way that you're doing things. And we're going to present a couple of, actually, it's kind of like an RPA case as well, that what you can automate in the whole thing. For an important thing, when you find a bug, you really want to find evidence about it. You want to get the bug reports and where you can actually find it. So that's something that's quite important as well. And you get all the test reports, they're clean feed. You can actually see the screenshot. You can see a video of the actual execution of what's going on in there. And then it's really easy to send to, for example, the team leader or the coder who's actually done the features that, hey, you can now see what's actually going on and this is going wrong. And the same thing as Vibe. As we said, compared to manual testing, you have to execute or do manually the steps every single time. But with automation, you automate it once, then you forget it. And then if your UI changes, you update it, but only at those moments. So actually the return on investment on that work goes exponential because you are only doing once, running it 1,000 times. And something that I've been also repeating here is the informed stakeholders. Because of the way that the whole system is built, there's a lot of dashboards in there. You can see what's actually going on. You can get Slack notifications when something fails and you can react immediately. As you can basically monitor even live systems. As you know, Salesforce is always on in the cloud. So you always get reports when something fails. You can notify that, sorry about, I'm again speaking really fast here. So some of the stakeholders that need to know if something fails, and also get them reports that they can read, and you do not need technical consultancy on what's actually going on in those reports. So that's what we are at the core trying to do. Make testing very efficient, make it easy to read, make it communicatable, make it efficient, and make sure that everybody understands what's going on. Those are the key values of making software better. We try to make the same values as we keep in the beginning. Some of the secret sauce behind this, I've been talking a lot about the Pace, and I haven't shown you the actual UI, but you'll see it on the demo. The idea of being in cloud, you can test from anywhere. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be at the office, behind a firewall. You can do it from anywhere. As we have open APIs, if you're using different kinds of source controls, you can use our APIs to trigger it. You can integrate us in Jenkins or Azure DevOps or a lot of other different platforms. And we have a lot of AI-powered quality intelligence tools there, analyzing your test cases, even providing you self-healing capabilities on those test cases. And if you have some hardware locally, we can actually put that also in there and test it remotely from the cloud. Of course, cloud is scalable, and the way that we actually do that way of Pacewords to make the testing simple is actually a combination of AI and computer vision to make really low-code testing. So that makes up a lot of what we do. But one thing is also we love open source. We are basing this on Drop-up framework. So if we have any test cases built on Drop-up framework, they will all run immediately on Pace that you can then port into there. And basically, Drop-up framework gives us a lot of tools for API testing, for unit testing as well, and a lot of different test cases that you can run on our platform. So we'll demonstrate through a demo of what I'm actually speaking about here and how you can do it. Hopefully. And so I think now is a proper time for a couple of demos that we prepared. And I'm going to introduce or give the floor to Cygnet as well.
Okay, so guys, can you see my screen?
Yes, I will. Yeah.
Okay. So as just Henry, the mentions all the benefits. So when we just talk about the Qentinel, so this is their main dashboard. So here we can see, the test cases or the test suits which we run. Here it shows the results, the how much time it took. Here it shows, like if we did the recording, right? Like as he just explained the benefits, like if you want to sort the share the recordings to stakeholders or any persons, right? Then we can share those stuff, so they do not have to check each and every feature. So let me just walk through the demo. So here what I will do, like in the sales, we are, when we get any leads, then how that lead is converted into the accounts, contacts, and in an opportunity. So once we have an opportunity, we will bound the any quotes with that particular opportunity. Then that opportunity having a different stages, like closed won, closed lost, in progress, something like that. So I will just walk through the whole the process, like to lead to the opportunity, how lead is converted into the opportunity. If we want the opportunity, then we will represent it in a report format. Okay, like how much we want, how much opportunity or the leads we got, how much leads converted into the opportunity, we will represent in a report format. And at the end, I will display everything on the dashboard. So let me run a demo. So here, this is the flow of how the leads to opportunity, like how lead is converted into the opportunity. So this is, here you can see the browsers. So when I just click on the single steps, so we can do the the single steps. We can execute the whole script as well. Okay, so here it shows the login screen. So this is the Salesforce login page. I put the username and the passwords, and then click on the authentications. So this is my the landing page. So I just click on the next step. Okay, so now I will create a new leads. Okay. Okay, so this is the lead page. So here you can see the lead is there. So basically lead is the object that is used to store the informations of the interested customers. Okay, so the leads we can create through social media. We can run any campaigns, and we will get the different these are the different ways to get the leads. Okay, so these are the details. So when we create any lead, I keep the mandatory fields like last name, company names, and the lead status. Those are the fields which are mandatory. So here you can see the I use the random text to create the details, the last name, company names. Okay. So when I click on the save, then that particular lead is created with the default values like the first name, the last name, company name, and the lead status. Now what I will do, like will convert that leads into the account, wherein the account, the company name is the mandatory. So leads is converted into the account context, and then at the end in the opportunity. Okay. So I just click on the convert. Okay, so here we have a, the combo box. So it will select the, the any particular values. So here we will select the email value. So here you can see, the email is selected. Okay, so now it will be converted. So the account is created, and in the accounts, as I just explained, the company name is the mandatory. So from the leads, we created an account. Now we will move to the contact part for the customer. So when the customer is created in the Salesforce, the customer informations will be stored inside the Salesforce, uh, where the first name, last name, and the emails are the mandatory fields. Here you can see, the UI will be changed in the click. Okay, so now we created an opportunity. So once the customer is created, we will create an opportunity, and an opportunity having a different stages, as I just explained before, like closed won, closed lost, in progress, something like that. Okay, so here we edit the details. Here you can see I click on the edit. In the prospect, we will select any specific value from the drop down. Okay, here is creating convert. So once that the opportunity is created, what we can do, like we will assign the price, or you can consider the quotes. And at the end, we can create reports. Opportunity is created. So here you can see, the we will assign a quote to that particular opportunity. Okay, so this is the quote page. So we will provide the values and rest of the details related to the quote. So it will put the name. Okay, we will select the date. Okay, then quote is saved. Okay, then this is the default page open opportunity. So we assign a quote to that particular opportunity. Now we will execute the report. So as I just explained, the report will be divided into the two part, like all the opportunities and the opportunities which an organizations won. So there will be two different reports. So here you can see in the reports we have all the opportunities. So it's a list of all the opportunities. Now I will do a sorting on the basis of date, the creation date. Okay, so this is the final report where the sorting is there. So the latest one will be on top. Then we have another reports which highlights the opportunities which an organization closed and won. So here we follow the same process. Okay, the report is generated. I will do the sorting on the basis of close date. Okay, then what we can do, like we will at the end create the dashboards and represent those reports on the dashboard. So any management peoples, or the upper management, they will get an idea like how many leads are converted into the opportunities, how many leads the sales team won, how many leads are converted. Those are the details we will get through this particular dashboard. Okay, so this is done from my side. And as I just execute the step by step process, if you just want to show the videos, then after executions you can see from the dashboard, like Qentinel dashboard. So the same steps which we just follow, it will be highlighted and recorded. So the same things you can do during your testing as well. Like if any bugs happen, then you are doing a recordings, then you have to share this particular videos to the developers or the respective persons, and they will get an idea like in this particular steps issue is generated, so they will fix it. So these are the the recorded one, and the previous one was the step by steps things which I the execute in front of you people. Any questions, anything? So here you can see the result, like how many test cases executed, results, and suit runs. So yeah, Henry, you can carry on.
Thank you. It's a nice demo, and it's always interesting to see people from other companies demoing Qentinel Pace. You can always see how differently people use it and how it can be used in different use cases. And Salesforce is really interesting in the fact that there are many tools that are being used to automate Salesforce cases. But looking at the code, it's really easy to follow what's actually happening, and you have the live stream video going on in there from the live testing setup, and it's really easy to demo and kind of build up your test cases in there. But as was said in the beginning, of course, those can be then run automatically, and you get the videos from, for example, failed or succeeded cases, whichever you want on the UI. So I think it's a great demo. Then we're going to have a second demo as well about integrating into different pipelines on how to do the automation part as well.
Yeah, I can try. For that, I have to go inside the private network. So just give me a second.
Might have been that I was talking about that. But yeah, something that can be done quite easily is integrating it into the different automation frameworks like Jenkins that we demoed previously in there, and what we did. Oh, and we have a couple of questions in chat. Can we take those at now? It's actually. And there was a question from Captain Cool India, actually, nickname Captain Cool India, about if it was a single test case or a set of test cases that was run.
Yeah, we can use the each and every test case through this particular tool. Like individual test case we execute, as well as the test suits we can execute.
Yeah.
Henry, you can add anything if you want.
Yeah, and as we saw from the live editor, you can edit single test cases, and then of course combine them to suit as well on the editor side, and you get the kind of combined experience. And I think there was a small suite with a couple of different features that we are going to do in there, and going on. And I'm sorry about that. I thought we had that second demo of the API, but we don't have that demo. So it was really good to take some of the questions at this point about this demo. So what we can execute, of course, is a suite level or some of the test cases in there and work on that. Looking at any comments from Premal on this?
No, I think one thing I can definitely share here that we've been using this tool for over like 2-3 months, and it's been so easy to understand and easy to integrate. I mean, Dhaval is one of the expert on the Salesforce, and he's been more than 15 years. He's been working on various different technology. So I think it's quite an easy tool to use and integrate, which take away those burden of how to test. And if you're really doing an agile network, I mean, if you're really implementing an agile, you can actually leverage the benefit of this tool. I think Prakash is ready with the demo. If he can give it to Prakash, this platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a demo. Sorry about that. I'm all over the place today.
Please let me know if you guys are able to see my screen.
Not yet. Here we go. Now we can see it.
So this is basically a Jenkins portal, a UI front end of the Jenkins tool, where we create multiple jobs to execute different sort of activities. So let's say we have a Qentinel POC over here. So this is a separate job to trigger Qentinel for a specific test suite. So before I walk you through this particular demo, we should be knowing one important information regarding API keys. So API key is nothing but a unique identifier of every test suite that we create on Qentinel portal. And that particular API key would be used for integration purpose, so that Jenkins running anywhere in the world can integrate with their Qentinel Pace SaaS-based application on the internet. Right. So let me quickly walk you through to the configuration of this particular Jenkins job. All right, so these are the basic configurations, and here is the important thing. So this is a script. Basically, you can find this particular script from the Qentinel documentation sites. So they have explained it very, in a very explorative way. So this is the basic home path, or the landing URL, or the API endpoint for triggering that particular suites. And this is the API key, which is a unique identifier for every suite. So we have to specify this. Your testing team just have to specify these information in the script, and these are the basic shell commands that we have used here just for echoing status and a validation point, whether it's pass or fail. And that's it. And we just saved this particular job. And this is the button called build now. So we are actually triggering this particular build. So it is start executing. So let's see the console. So we have a run ID of this unique identifier for that particular suite created by the Jenkins over here for their build ID identification. And whatever things we have defined in our test suites, like value, Firefox, browser, secrets, and this is the result that execution is done, and we would be receiving the notification onto our email that I have specified there, my own corporate email. So let me see. This is the email notification that I just received from the Qentinel Pace. And if I click on it, this will give us a detailed report generated at this particular link. So if anyone clicks on this particular link, he will have a detailed insight about test suite execution, test results, how much test cases are passed, failed. Sorry for my lagging internet, but it will be loaded. So the entire dashboard would be displayed over here, just to have an insight at the lead level or management level that what is the quality index of the application, how many test cases are passing or failing, and based upon that, development team can also rectify all those issues so that the next run would fail. I have explicitly failed a couple of test cases just to showcase that how it looks like if any test step gets failed. So this is, we have two suits over here. Critical tests are 4, pass are 2 are failed, 50%. So these are the overall status report for that. And this particular line also indicates a detailed information regarding what actually failed. So all these information, these are the screenshot captured in this particular execution. Just for a reminder, this execution is not the same test as explained in this particular demo. So we can have that API key for that test suite and run it over here without any issue. We just have to change the API key that we have already discussed in the configuration here. So this is the API key that we have to change, and the respective test suite would be executed, and we can have a detailed test report over here. So this is how Jenkins work. Normally, as already discussed in our previous slides, where we have explained how we generally include Qentinel into our general QA deployment pipeline, which is completely continuous in nature. So for every build, we do have a set of scripts continuously being updated by testing team, pushed on the Git repository. So we, whenever any new build comes, that pipeline will trigger this particular job, and then test execution will start. And based upon result, the entire flow would move forward or backward. Yeah. Any questions so far?
No questions on the stream currently. But I think this really nicely demonstrates on how we can easily integrate into different systems, and Jenkins would be
really very easy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we saw 2 demos today, very good demos on different fronts of it. First on the how to use the web editor to do the editing, and then how to integrate it into your testing pipeline in there. Looking at some of the other benefits, the main benefit that we've been discussing about is the number one, that you really want to be confident on release day. With all of these reports and all of that, really human readable format, you can be confident that everything works when everything is green. Second point is that with these kind of easy to read test cases and with the platform's help of the easy tooling that you can use, you can reduce your test maintenance expense to a fraction of your testing expenses. We've seen sorry about that. We've seen percentages of about 15% used on test maintenance, when typically on other tools like Selenium, it can be even over 50%. Scale is based on need, so not based on the equipment availability. So you don't have to buy different amounts of equipment for different things, and you can test out Android and other platforms as well. So when you need it, take the resources from the cloud and test as much as you want. 4, low-code approach lets everybody participate in testing. So everybody can comment on the testing, everybody can write those tests, and then they can be improved by the other people who be more pro on that side. So everybody can participate in it and really understand what's going on. And number 5 is when we have all of that data in the cloud, we can actually predict the quality and prove that feelings that you have about your quality are true. We've had some comments from people that say that, hey, why do you use your platform? But it says exactly the same things that I feel. And I think that was the best feedback that we got, that this one guy was basically proving that the AI and all of that can prove what's actually going on with the platform if the product manager feels the same way as the platform. So those, I think, are the 5 main benefits that you get from the platform. And comparing it to, for example, for Selenium, I've been talking about this, that it's going to be cheaper. These are some of the cases that we've had where the effort in cost of automation is quite low when you actually have multiple teams. So every time when you start a test automation project, you of course have the setup costs and everything that stays about the same. But then when you start taking the tool into use, those are where the actual expenses start accruing: maintenance, design, maintenance, and all of that. So we've compared it here to Selenium and Qentinel Pace on what are the differences between team sizes of one team or 3 teams using it. So we think we've done quite a nice tool for people to use and really help people improve their testing, because now they can do a lot more of it and talk a lot more about it. Okay, we've arrived at the Q&A part of the session. We had a couple of questions already in the chat, and looks like we currently don't have any other questions on the chat right now. Anybody want to ask anything on the chat or on the stream? We can wait a little bit on questions here. So Premal, how are you feeling about today's stream?
I think quite exciting. I mean, especially after looking at the benefit and implementing the tool, I think quite excited to work on some of the live business application. That would excite me more than anything else. So I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I said Premal and his team and everybody else are now pros in using Qentinel Pace. And so if you have any kind of questions or answers or projects for them, for example, please contact them straight away from here, and we can get you set up with all of the stuff that you want to, and they can provide all the expertise in there.
Absolutely.
And I gotta say, 2 really, really good demos, even though I was a bit of a hassling on if we have 1 or 2 demos, but really, really nice ones. Looks like we don't have any other questions yet. So Captain Cool India is the Q&A person of the day today, and we already answered his questions previously on what can we actually do with Qentinel Pace. So thank you, Captain Cool India, for your questions. And looking at the time, we can also now go into the actual thank you slides from every one of us. You can contact us for more information about us. The video stream that is in here is also recorded, so you can link it to your friends or whoever also wants to see what's going on in here. So you can get to share what you saw in here, and you can always link back to this, so you can find out what Cygnet can do for you and what we can do for you. Any last words from Cygnet's side?
No, sorry, nothing from me. Sorry, I thought I said somebody else is taking up. No, nothing more to add. Yeah, I mean, anything other than what we have discussed. I mean, what we have discussed today. There are many things that we can do. So please visit our website, and if you have any questions, anything that we can partner you with, feel free to get in touch. You will find all the information on our website, and our details are also shared on this particular webinar. So feel free to get in touch, and looking forward to have some project execution with the Qentinel tool. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for our viewers. Thank you for people from Cygnet. Thank you for everybody else. So you can stay in the line after this, and we'll have a little chat. And thank you, everybody. Remember to sign up. Remember to hit the small subscribe bell. You can get all the webinars that Qentinel has, and you get notifications from them and everything from there. Thank you, and have a good rest of the day.
Thanks
Thank
everyone.
you.